Well, John, how are you?
I'm good, Ben. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man. It is tiring, but we're having a good day. I've got a little bit of an announcement to make, John.
Go ahead.
I hadn't even told you this, had I?
Oh no. Go on.
This is, for at least the time being, my last can of Coca-Cola, John.
You told me you were going to wean yourself off it. That sounds more like cold turkey.
This is my last can for the time being, John.
Oh, for how long?
How long's a piece of string, my friend?
How long is a piece of string?
Well, I don't know, but
I wish you all the best in your endeavour.
I wish myself all the best in the endeavour as well, John. Don't you worry about that. And with that, would you, sir, like to introduce this evening's festivities?
Indeed, I'd like to welcome one and all to this episode 113. 113 of Chasing Dissent Live. From me, the man formerly in the van and now hunkering in the bunker, and from Ben in his wonderful, wonderful hot box known as the studio.
It's actually a lot cooler today, dude.
Yeah, I know.
I'm working on the fly here, trying to resize everything. But yeah, no. Hello. How are you, John?
I'm good.
Good. I've nearly got everything right. Just smile at the people.
Smile gently at the people.
Smile gently at them. There they go. They can see your name is Tucker Carlson now. And...
I can hear them sounds.
China is asshole!
I mean, that's a good sound to play them, dude. That's a good sound to play them. And then I've got myself here. We were resized for a 3-person show, so I thought I had it all sorted, but clearly not.
This isn't a 3-person show.
Yeah, but it was last time.
Was it?
Yes, the Dismal Disney show on the other channel. John.
Oh, yeah, the Dismal, doesn't it? Yeah, sorry. I meant, the last time we did this show, it's always been a 2-person show.
It has indeed, but, you know, here we go. Adam says, what the fuck? No!
Why would you say that?
I think it's about my Coca-Cola.
Oh, he's got a massive stack as well.
Yeah, I know he does. I'm kind of jealous because this is literally the last can of Coca-Cola that I have.
Sup it gently.
No, I figure if I just tear the Band-Aid off and get it gone, maybe that's the way forward.
You got something to drink once that physical can is finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, with you.
Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah.
Not Red Bull.
No.
Okay.
Just not Coca-Cola, John. Anyway, so I've had a bit of a day. I won't explain what's gone on, but I've had a bit of a victory today, haven't I, John? That's all I will say.
That's all you need to say, I think. You've had a good day.
I've had a good day. It's a stressful day.
Pumped up and ready.
And to celebrate, I am taking the children and an old friend, along with the wife, to the Lego Land tomorrow. Well, it's the summer holidays. We have annual passes, so technically speaking, it's free, so we might as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. You might as well. And I'll be stuck here doing Down the Rabbit Hole with Ed the Techie.
You will, and believe me, give me the link, because if I do get back in time, I shall just appear during the show.
Okay.
And say, what are we talking about, boys?
You're around for the morning meeting tomorrow, no?
Yeah, no, I won't be. No, I'll be in the car on my way to Windsor, John.
Okay.
I mean, we're just making that arrangement right now on the show.
Yes, we are, because I better get my live streaming skills back up to speed.
Well, if we do the morning meeting about 9:30,
I could do that.
I could just make my wife drive, and I'll come in on my phone.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. So, with that, John, do we have a list?
We do. We have a list.
Roll VT. Well, John,
Well, Ben.
what is the first item? And I think the title of the show might predicate what the first item and probably the longest item on tonight's list is. So shall we go straight into it and
Don't
give
pay.
them some context?
Don't pay.
I mean, I would certainly like to not pay, but I also kind of don't want to end up in court, John.
Yeah, well, see, that is the problem because, and we're bang on about it again, because if you just stop paying, then you leave yourself wide open for action to be taken against you.
Yes, you do.
If you continue to pay, albeit a reduced amount, then you are in a negotiation. It's a civil contract, so it's between you and the company, and the court shouldn't get involved at all.
Yeah, indeed. Absolutely right.
So,
like Lisa says in the chat here, hashtag pay what you can.
yeah, that would have been a better slogan. But we know from the last show that Don't Pay UK don't have any resources to help you out.
No.
You don't care about you, first of all, if you're on a prepayment meter, because you can't take any action.
No.
If you don't pay, you just don't have any electricity.
Exactly.
Have any gas.
And I'm on a prepayment meter, and believe me when I tell you, it's fucking expensive, John.
Yeah, of course it is, because, as always, the poorer you are, the more expensive everything is in this country. And not just this country. Generally, the world, you'll find that the poorer you are, the more stuff costs.
Yeah.
The richer you are, the less you have to pay for it.
So. It's backward, ass. This world is so backwards.
Yeah, well, of course it is. Yeah, of course. I mean, what do they do? You can't pay your bills. You get a fine in court because you can't pay your bills.
Yeah.
Now think about that for a minute, right? Maybe it's not that you don't want to pay your bills; it's you cannot pay your bills.
Oh, and especially with this this current economic situation in which we find ourselves, right?
Yeah. Even without that, people find themselves in court because they cannot pay their bills.
No.
And they get fined by the court for not paying the bill that they couldn't afford to pay.
Yes.
Now, that just makes no sense. And I might sound a bit like a communist here, but it makes no freaking sense whatsoever.
No.
So the next thing is you end up in jail for not paying your bills because you had no money to pay your bill. So you were supposed to just die quietly without making a fuss, either starve to death or freeze to death. That would be their preferred option.
Indeed. So we have some more tips for people, don't we? Because we've got the Maxter here in the chat on Twitch that says members of Don't Pay UK have been on news shows responding to journalist questions.
Oh,
have they been responding?
And what have they said?
Well, exactly. Have they been being honest? So, John, we have 7 clips tonight, don't we?
Well, there's a few, yeah. I mean, you could play, some of them are very short.
Yes, but these are the organisers of Don't Pay UK in their own words. We are not putting words in their mouth. We are letting them speak for themselves. Are we not, John? These aren't the clips that you will see on the news. These are their private Zoom calls.
Yeah.
So, John, which one would you like me to play first? Where should we go?
What have we got there? Let me have a quick look and see where we are. I think. Just sorry about this. Don't pay. Where's the don't pay folder?
He's looking for the folder. I have all the clips here. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I know you've got, I was just wanting to see what order they were in. I can't see the don't pay folder.
So we've got Ulrich, Market, Strategy, Climate, Support, Activists, and German.
Right. So German would be the last one if you wanted to play that. That's the one where Katie Shaw of Change the System, not climate change, system change, in Vienna, explained how she was on a workshop where Labour the Labour Party of the UK were telling her how they were involved with this in 2019 for the election. So
should we just play it?
I'll just play that one if you want.
Here we go.
Longer than it should be. That
Once
one,
again, we're not putting words in their mouths. It's just them in their own words.
Okay, cool. Dann haben wir jetzt noch ein paar Minuten. Also ich würde sagen, vielleicht so eine Viertelstunde oder sowas. Kathi, du warst auf der Oh, jetzt sind schon ein paar raus von lauter Schreck. Sorry. Ich hoffe, das ist jetzt nicht blöd. Du warst auch nicht gemeint, ehrlich gesagt. Ich wollte überleiten zu dir. Genau, Kathi, du warst zusammen mit Carol auf der Konferenz und ich würde dir jetzt einfach mal die Zeit geben und du kannst uns ein bisschen erzählen, was da so die interessanten Themen waren. Genau.
And if it's okay, I'll
to English.
You're going to have to repeat all of that, John, because you were on mute. So you would like us to play that one on the next show?
Yeah, I'll recut that. I might make it into a video actually because she started in German and then she switched to English, and I thought she was going to do the whole thing in German, so I clipped the whole thing so as I could transcribe it.
Yeah. Okay. So should we move on to? Well, you tell me where you want to go.
Right. Go with Ulrich. Ulrich will tell you how this won't work in Germany.
Come on, then. Let's hear from Ulrich.
And this is Ulrich of
maybe I missed
Extinction
something
Rebellion,
here, but,
Germany.
Talking from Germany and following the goings on about the gas and the bills and this and that. I think the companies that are in the business of distributing this gas, which is becoming scarcer and more expensive, they're making losses already. Before you have a single, I don't think they would care a bit if people wouldn't pay. In fact, they're already asking the government now to be taken over and cover their losses because they are not really in a position to increase the prices in order to come clean. Yeah, so this company Uniper, which does gas distribution and selling in Germany, is being now more or less being taken over by government already with, is it in Milliarden, billions, yeah, tens of billions of euros to just cover their daily operations. I don't think they could care a bit if they didn't get any payment anymore. I think they are not sensitive to this type of thing. In the UK, it's different. You get most of your gas from Norway and the northern, what you press out of in Scotland, out of the beautiful North Sea, and this you're not so dependent on this master strategies called Putin. So maybe there is really quite a difference in the strategic situation. And that a strategy like this, don't pay, wouldn't work. Actually, it would make the politicians extremely nervous, not because of the money, but because of the accusations that will be facing that they are not État-providence, they are no longer the welfare state. So they would quickly take over the slack as much as they can, and they have a lot of leeway financially. We are not as run down and extremely hostile and class-ridden like in Britain. I think you have a different strategy which works very well there, but in the EU, not yet. I guess, but maybe I'm talking nonsense. Sorry.
It appears to be right, as far as I'm concerned, John.
He's 100% right. Yeah. The guy's talking sense. I mean, let's not forget these people aren't stupid, you know, and they've been doing this for a while, so they kind of know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They probably aren't on the same page as us, but in some respects they are on the same page of us, you know. Who I think is most disingenuous is Alessio.
Yeah.
Who is putting this out for people to don't pay, which is going to get people in trouble. I think that's the most disingenuous part. But the rest of them are basically sitting in and listening to how he's doing it and what they're doing. And if you play the one that says great strategy,
yeah,
what Carol thinks of that.
Right, here we go.
We've been talking a lot about the fact that we're not going to win unless people who are not activists and never going to be activists take action. And I think this is incredible that this is a way, this provides a way for an enormous number of people to, as Elle was saying, form a political constituency, and they don't have to take on an activist identity or join a group or go to a meeting. This is a remarkable, amazing strategy.
So let's give some context to what she's just said there, because it's not about bringing prices down. That's not about making sure that we can get through the winter or get through the cost of living crisis. That's about forming a political movement.
Yeah, and Carol's background is she went to Melbourne University. She is an Australian. And she's currently living in Vienna, I believe. The movement hub is based in Vienna, in Austria. And she's had previous work with other movement groups such as XR or whatever, and mainly in Berlin.
Far left, I would say.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. Everybody in this meeting is far left, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Oh yes. And the thing is, this is why I call Don't Pay UK a Trojan horse, right, John? It's because it's very clearly about forming these far left political organisations, using the fear of the everyman to do it. And the fear that the everyman has in whether or not they'll be able to heat or feed their children, right?
And that leads perfectly onto the next clip, which is the one around the groups.
So the one named activists.
Yeah, lots of activists. Or is it? There's one around climate change.
Yeah, there's one that says climate, one that says activists.
Right, go for the climate one.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, cool. Dann haben wir jetzt noch ein paar Minuten. Also ich würde sagen, vielleicht so eine Viertelstunde oder sowas. Kathi, du warst auf der Oh, jetzt sind schon ein paar raus von lauter Schreck.
Right, that's the German one again. So I'll go for the activist one, and whilst I'm doing that, I'll change the climate one out to the correct clip. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool, dann haben wir jetzt noch ein paar Minuten. Also ich würde sagen, vielleicht so eine Viertelstunde oder sowas.
We've been talking a lot about...
There's obviously a slight snag with your OBS.
Yes, okay, give me...
Yeah.
Okay, cool, dann haben wir jetzt noch...
My apologies, people. I'm going to turn off studio mode so that I can sort this out. So we'll go for climate first. We go to the media source. Give me a second. John, talk to them for a sec. Give them some...
Yes, well, as you can see, there's a number of different groups represented here. As you can see by their names and titles, XR certainly there.
Yes.
Lu Yen Roloff is a candidate for German Parliament, I believe. So she's put herself forward as that. She has a long history of working for XR and other companies, and mainly in Berlin. So she's quite well ensconced in this the activist movement.
Okay, so I shall give you the climate one now, shall I?
Okay.
On that level, just to finish off, is that there'll probably be around 2 to 3 million people who cannot pay their bills in October. And we're actually saying to people and it's a very key question around risk. If you don't do anything, the risks are higher than if you do something. So if you don't pay, or if you join this movement and collectively have this intervention October 1st, it's less risky than you continuing as normal. I mean, it's fundamentally, it's probably similar to the climate movement. It's like, if you don't do anything, the risks are already there. The planet will end up dying in some massive apocalyptic kind of events in the future and stuff. And similar to this. And I think people understand this, and often people are quite risk averse when it comes to stuff. But this is what's propelling very ordinary people saying they'll do, for the first time in their life, they'll do something which isn't illegal, but is something that is an act of civil obedience, especially around finances and debt, people are quite moralistic when it comes to these choices. They're proud of being able to sort of pay their bills, and even if it means them, doing out without other stuff to pay their bills is almost like a moral obligation. And it's those people who are saying they're not going to pay their bills.
That guy's a bastard. He is finished, yeah.
Yeah, not only does he have a very arrogant and supercilious look on him when he's sitting there expressionless, he doesn't have any empathy for anyone.
No,
does he?
No, he doesn't. It's all about getting the movement off the ground and getting basically what he's doing noticed. It's not about whether or not people will be actually better off for this. It's about pushing his ideology and his politics.
Yeah, I think your summation last time was pretty close. I think I don't think Alessio Lunghi is a hard name to remember. But anyway, no matter whether you call him Al or not, but if you what you suggested last time was that you think this is a big bait and switch.
Yes,
they're gonna fly around and they're going to come at you with all the climate stuff. And I think that's obviously part
not
of
just climate, but anti-capitalist, far
Yeah,
left.
they're all in there. The Movement Hub, Just Stop Oil.
And every time someone signs up, they're giving them their contact details. They get at least to the point of the email address, right? So they're bragging that they now have over 100,000 people's email addresses to push their message, to push their agenda, and that's what this was all about.
Yeah, and they're either going to be, you're going to have two types of people there. You're going to have people that are really naive, and are about to be taken advantage of without lube.
Yep.
And you've got the rest that are complete and utter lefties and probably know exactly what they're getting into anyway.
Yeah. So oh, there's a comment just gone in the chat. A couple of comments. First one.
I don't think we need to probe anything.
No, because that's very, very good. Because that our next clip should clear some of those things up.
But even so, I don't think there's any question of probing and confirming their affiliations. And Ben, on you go.
Yeah, well, but apparently also Jeremy Corbyn has officially disavowed Don't Pay UK. Well,
yeah, okay, but who was in charge of the Labour Party in 2019 when they went for the election?
Oh, that was Jeremy Corbyn, yeah.
Well, he was involved. He was involved with them then.
So let's talk about their activists, shall we, John? Rolling VT.
So, maybe we can just have like a quick round of reflection from everyone who's here. Lots of activists working for different groups. Like, how do we think that actually, what does it with you, hearing about that campaign?
So, John, you could see on screen many of the people and who they are affiliated with. I mean, Ulrich there literally says Extinction Rebellion DE on it, right?
And I mean, you look these people up, and I mean, their bios are all there. I mean, like Lou Ren-Yoloff has a LinkedIn page. She has her own web page for her candidacy in the Bundes, whatever it's called, the German Parliament.
Yep.
Carol Peterson is a former graduate of University of Melbourne and has again a LinkedIn page. They're not hiding anything. I mean, they're not working underneath the radar.
Yeah, but you say that they're not hiding anything from each other.
Well, yes. I mean,
because
I think
what we're playing is not meant to be seen by the public.
That's true, and Alessio has been very disingenuous in his approach to the public.
Yeah.
Very disingenuous.
Well, absolutely. What we are playing, we've got a 90-minute video that we are taking these clips from.
Why is Twitter? Twitch?
I don't know. I don't think it has.
Okay, maybe it's just me.
But we have a 90-minute video, John, that they are. So the Maxter says, "What does graduating from University of Melbourne and having a LinkedIn have to do with Don't Pay UK?" What has is her far left affiliations, right?
Well, it's explaining who she is. So one, you know who she is. Two, you know what her affiliations are. And 3, she's on a call with Don't Pay UK and loving what they're saying.
She's on
How much more would you like to spell out?
I mean, it's and once again, this is a private call. This is a call that we got our hands on long before the Daily Mail did, by the way. But that they're affiliated with Just Stop Oil as well.
Maxter UK might be a plant.
I don't know, because he's been on the show before. So
has he?
He's been in there before. I've seen him in the chat before. So shall we run one more, and that's the no support clip.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, here we go.
Are you organizing
support for you?
Some kind of like solidarity fund or something? Well, because people will get monetary fines for this, right? Or like, what are also your preparations in regards to the once it actually might happen that they all don't pay? How do you open beyond in a way? How do you protect people?
So on the first question, so yeah, it's similar to Germany. It's like people pay on different days. So we're saying, but in terms of the actual price cap, it comes into effect on October 1st. So for example, if someone has a payment that goes on October 1st, because of the banking system works, I think it's quite a global thing. It gets taken out 3 days before. Or at least, you know, you're committed to paying it 3 days before. So it's going to be around that time, basically, end of September. People will be cancelling their direct debits on that level. Yeah, thanks, Carol. So, and we're saying, obviously, we're fixated on October 1st, but this is something that, obviously, we said 1 million people. If 1 million people pledge, then we think this is going to be a viable option and stuff. Now, this is not going to stop on October 1st. People will be cancelling, even if there's 100,000 or 200,000 or 300,000, because even those numbers are quite enormous in terms of stuff. 1 million people withholding their payment equates to around £240 million per month of withheld funds, basically. And we would imagine that people will be cancelling from October onwards all the way through November, December, January. So this might be a thing that really can deepen into a very, if the government doesn't act fundamentally, a very serious political crisis on the scale that we haven't seen for 30 years in the UK. And this is not us doing it. This is the system doing it in terms of what's happening. They've constructed this opening where a small group can make an intervention and mobilize quite a large portion of the British public into a form of action that people think is a common sense and socially acceptable, and it could potentially break the system and the energy markets and the government on that level. And this is not me being a fan of this. This is what even the experts are saying. The second question, go on. Sorry, Nelly, go ahead.
I was just going to say it might be individual companies that aren't big enough to withstand having a certain. So because of the fact they fragmented the market, some of the companies will be weaker, basically.
Yeah, I mean, on that, it's very, so in terms of people who are making money, it's not the energy providers, it's the BPs and Shells. They're making enormous profits, and the energy suppliers that we pay off are very thin margins, profit margins, but our leverage is almost like a sort of, cascade, really. We hit them first, the government has to intervene, either to nationalize them temporarily, or to create a massive windfall tax.
There we go. This is, as was said in the chat, this is a honeypot. Yeah, well, it's got so much mainstream media coverage, it's unreal. Hold on, you're on mute. So, there we go.
No.
Sorry.
Mute me when I'm running.
He was on a roll as well. So we need a producer. Anyway.
Yes.
We do need a producer, but yes, you're right. It's been picked up by the mainstream media so well, the useful idiots, as you were saying.
And Katie Hopkins. I mean, what the hell is she thinking? I mean, I saw somebody replying to her today saying, "Did you do any research before you jumped on board?" You know, I mean, it's like, for fuck's sake, people.
Yeah.
Use your brain. That's what it's there for. I mean, did you all rush out and shove things up your nose? Did you? Did you all rush out and get things shoved into your arm? Did you? You know? Use your brain.
So like Adam says here in the chat, Alessio is not an expert in any of this. He's just making it up as he goes along, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it basically, isn't he like wanted in several European countries for inciting riots?
I'm loath to say yes, but what I would say is I believe they're looking to question him
for incitement of riots, I believe.
I think in Germany, certainly, yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously to do with far left activism, I would imagine.
Oh, one can only surmise.
One can only surmise that he's probably well affiliated with some black bloc protesters, John.
Yeah.
We all know what wonderful peacekeepers they are.
Yeah, I know. So we've spent we've spent 30 minutes on them again. So we shall we move on, my good man?
I do believe so. We should move into the news as a whole. So
let's move into the news. Tell me about the RAF.
I don't want to tell you about the RAF, John.
What the hell are the RAF thinking?
Well, one of their recruitment managers has resigned, and she says she did it because they are essentially withdrawing the offers of hiring into the RAF to white people. So to white men specifically.
Hold on. We live in a country that is in the region of overall probably about 92% white.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Off that, we have armed services who will generally put people forward that need to fight to defend your country, and that's the only reason they should be fighting, to defend your country. They shouldn't be fighting for oil or to prop up the petrodollar or to take out the bad man in Egypt who didn't really do anything that bad.
Correct.
You should not be fighting for this. You should be fighting to defend your country. Much like they did in 1939. They fought to defend their country. Right?
Yes.
So these people are now being rejected from armed service because they don't fit the profile of people that should defend the country? Is that what you're saying?
So from what it would appear, the services now have ridiculous, and as the woman who resigned said, unobtainable diversity quotas. So it's boxes that have to be ticked, and therefore offers will be made to marginalised communities first. Now the forces themselves, the Air Force, have come out and said, nah, this is kind of not true, but they haven't actually denied it. Their word salad of an explanation is just that. It's a word salad of an explanation.
Right, so it's kind of not true, which probably means it's kind of true.
I mean, they definitely did not say that white people would be offered jobs. Put it that way.
Yeah, okay.
They started talking about how important it is to invite the most marginalised in society. I have no idea.
I don't understand. I think there's a very simple criteria when you're recruiting people that you want to kill for your country, right?
Yes. You
want these people to be able to do what they're told and to push the button when required.
Yes.
That's not a big criteria that needs to be, examined for whether you're diverse or in a different letter or whatever, you know what I mean? I don't think it's a big problem at all.
Well, no, I think you're absolutely right, and I really don't understand this mindset at all. It's almost like it is a cult now. It's like it's the cult of diversity, right? And it will be at detriment to the safety and security of our country if this is actually what they are doing. Because...
to be fair, I know I'm talking about defending our country, but we don't have the capability of doing that anymore.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
The army down to ridiculous levels. The navy can't even stop. They can't even stop immigrants coming across the English Channel. So how useful would they be in a war? You know, just it's a joke. The whole thing's and the RAF obviously are just going to encourage the recruitment of not necessarily the most able people, but certainly the most diverse.
Please, sir, can I have a job?
Are you white, boy?
Right in there. Well, you might get in there because you're a cripple.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you could play the cripple.
I have one nebulous thing that can trump the colour of my skin. You know, it was Martin Luther King Jr. that said he wanted to see people judged by the content of their character, not the colour of their skin, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing that gets me is black people don't want this either.
Well, I it's the bigotry of low expectations, as they call it. They say,
yeah, exactly.
clearly, this is what these sort of diversity quotas do, right? And this is not me saying this is what they do. They look at these marginalised people from these marginalised communities and say, without us giving you a hand, you're not going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking patronising. It really is. It really is. So I shall drink to that.
Oh, you fucker. cheating fucker. I shouldn't have sworn. But, why would you switch to that shit, though?
I'm not switched to it. This is just for a joke.
That's the inferior taste.
Far inferior, yes.
Right. Anyway, moving on. Tell me about Liz.
Liz Cheney lost, John.
Yeah, Liz Cheney lost.
Liz Cheney lost.
It's even better. She lost to someone in her own party.
Well, yeah, that's what a primary does.
Yeah, well, she's lost to someone in her own party who was backed by...
China. No, the guy that says China.
One bad. He's coming back, isn't he? He's coming back.
I think he's going to go for it. And did you see her speech?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God. She could
try.
No. She basically said that her work to ensure that Trump never regains office is no. It's like Ulysses S. Grant facing down General Lee.
Yeah.
She also said that Abraham Lincoln lost elections too, but then he won the highest office in the land.
Then he got assassinated in a theatre.
Liz Cheney is gonna run for president, John. I'm telling you.
So only two of the Republicans that sat on the January 6th committee and have stood against Trump have kept their seats.
Yeah.
Only two.
Yeah. There
was 10 of them stood against him, and only two have kept their seats.
They've all been primaried by Trumpers.
You know what? Trump's Trump. He's a businessman. He's a bit of an arse. I have no doubt, and I have to be careful what I say, but I have no doubt that he's been economical with the truth to the tax man on a number of occasions, right? And he's probably done a lot of things that have been very edgy or close to the bone.
What, you mean like all billionaire businessmen?
But as a president, he was fucking gold for us, because every day's a news day when Trump's the president.
Please, America, give us content. Ladies and gentlemen, we appear to have lost John. Am I still live? So am I still live and we've just lost John? Yeah, I'm live. Okay. I shall find out what has gone on. If you give me 2 minutes, I shall make myself... Look, there's Big John. If we make myself big, I shall inform him that we have lost him. Okay. John? I'm just messaging... What's going on here? Oh, because I've got really big. So if I go like that, then... My apologies. John is gone. I'm just going to say, come back, John. You cannot get the staff. You just cannot get the staff here. You try your best. You try your hardest. And this is what you have to deal with. This is what you have to deal with. Perhaps, Sauron, perhaps you are correct. Militant Mushroom says, "Diss Trump, get froze." We were actually saying, come back, Trump. That's what I was about to say. Come back. We want the clicks. He really has gone, hasn't he? He's just absolutely gone. I've just got a text message from him, and it says, "Power blip, crashed PC, sorry, coming back up." So John will return. Okay. What should I? Do you want a musical interlude? I don't know. Should I just strum on the guitar for a minute? Should we just wait for him? What should we do? Let me know. Sauron says maybe all those IRS agents will look into the vast amount of money that Liz Cheney made. Oh, wait. Sauron would like me to show him my boobies. It is before the 9 o'clock watershed, Sauron, so please do not make requests like that at this time, okay? Before the 9 o'clock watershed. So John is on his way back in just a minute. So Adam says he really has gone. Sauron says, "Sad times, private showing later on then." Well, if you do want a private showing of something or other, then please consider signing up at patreon.com/Chasing Dissent, or indeed subscribestar.com/Chasing Dissent, and supporting our show. And for that, directly after the end credits roll, you will be invited to join us in what we call the after party. And for that, you get to come into the show. You come on video call with us, talk directly to us, shoot the shit back and forth, whatever, talk with each other, and have a bit of a laugh for half an hour or so, twice a week, on a Wednesday and a Sunday. And tonight, when the credits roll, if you are a subscribe star, you will get an email from John, and if you are a Patreon, then head over to the Patreon page where there will be a patron-only post with the link for tonight's after party. Obviously, that part of the show is not broadcast, so only patrons get to come, and subscribe stars, of course. So, yeah, patreon.com/Chasing Dissent, or indeed subscribestar.com/Chasing Dissent. And I think that some of you should do it just because I am holding the fort here. Just for me, look. He's back.
So
it was going so well. You froze with such a smile on your face, with such glee.
If fucking power went.
So your power went in the whole studio.
Yeah, it was a big power. Everything, lights went out, everything. Then they come back on, but obviously it was enough for the computer to get fried. So I've got 2 words for you. Should that happen, digital currency.
That was a great segue. That really was.
How are you going to use that?
That's a great warning right there. Well, I can just tell my Disneyland Paris story again. I know I've told it before, but I'll reiterate it. We went to Disneyland Paris, me and a few friends, and they only had card and I only had cash. The entire Visa and MasterCard banking system went down across the entire resort for an entire day. So many people were trying their best to get to cash points. There's only like 2 cash points in the whole of Disneyland Park. And the queues were hours upon hours long. And then I had all the people that I was with going, "Can we borrow some cash, please? We want to get food." And I was going, "I'll lend you this €50 if you pay me back 400. I wasn't really. I did lend them some. I did lend them some cash. I did relent and be nice, but I did go and buy things from shops in front of them before I did that.
Oh, quite right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. We better step up the game because that's 50 minutes in.
Oh, I did manage to plug the Patreon and the after party and everything while you were gone.
Good man. Right.
Yeah.
So, Sweden.
Sweden.
What's Sweden?
I don't know. What has Sweden done? You tell us.
Sweden has fired up its. Sweden has fired up its oil-powered power stations.
How dare you!
The land of Greta Thunberg has fired up oil-powered power stations to keep the lights on. And here's a fun fact you maybe don't know about Sweden. They put a little light in the window and they burn it all night because it's there in case you've lost your way in the forest and you need to find your way to safety.
How lovely! And how lovely that they fired up their oil-fired power stations once again. John, just let's hear Greta one more time, shall we?
How dare you!
Oh, poor thing. You know, she's not a kid anymore, so she's fair game. And quite frankly...
Yeah, I'm expecting her. I'll be expecting her to appear in some kind of parody porn movie at some point.
She'll end up on the hub, John. She'll end up on the hub. You know that.
Speaking of things like that, minor surgery on the old Vaj has doubled in 2022.
Why?
Tight leggings, apparently. Obviously, it never happened in the 80s because they didn't have designer surgery for the old, at that point. But now they do. It's doubled in 2022 because of tight leggings. It's amazing how fashion can help out, the old plastic surgeons.
I want my camel toe to just look like Jennifer Aniston's. Is that basically what we're getting at here?
Yeah, basically, yeah. I don't want a camel toe to look like a camel.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What is this world coming to? I mean, that's such a fucking first world problem, and excuse my language, but it really is such a first world problem. It's almost embarrassing.
Yeah, I suppose that is a bit. But hey-ho, these things happen.
Shall we move on straight away?
Well, let's move on. I'm just logging back into Twitch so I can watch the chat.
You really did lose absolutely everything there, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I lost a whole lot.
I'm so glad it didn't happen during the Don't Pay section, because anybody just joining us now after the fact can watch it, the Don't Pay section, as its own individual video tomorrow on the channel. Because we will put it out.
Yep. So Darius Dinesh.
Yes, do you remember Darius, that slick bugger?
I mean, he's a Scottish boy, isn't he? Yeah. I know he doesn't sound like a Scottish boy, but he was a good singer, pop idol. Darius Campbell Dinesh.
I think
and that is his name.
I know that's his name, right? But I hate to speak ill of the dead, but good singer. I think we have a very different view of what is a good singer.
Right, okay, the ladies found him attractive.
I was going to say, they liked his slick, they liked it. He had the mustache at the time, didn't he, and the hair. And basically looked like an Italian greaser. And so that's what they liked about him. Yeah,
why not? But, so old Darius found dead in his New York hotel room at age 41.
It wasn't a New York hotel room, I believe it was his apartment.
New York apartment. Found dead at 41. Last seen, I think, last photographed with Gerald Butler at the end of July on an LA beach.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so no apparent health problems. He looked fine. Doctors are baffled.
Are you baffled, John?
You know what it is!
I mean, I'm not 100% putting my name to that because there's nothing else at this point. But, you know, when these doctors are baffled, passing aways keep happening, you kind of do know what it is.
Yeah, you kind of do.
And it's not Pepsi Cola.
Right, so I don't know what's wrong with Twitch, but I'm not seeing any chat.
I've got it. Saw says they should have just kept those 80s Bush. I think that's the last bit of chat we had.
He's actually quite right, though. If they'd kept the Bush, nobody would have bothered. Well, I don't know, but the super tight leggings I have these days, would it still have shown through?
But perhaps they shouldn't have the bloody super tight leggings, John. What good are they actually doing?
Hey. I actually had a conversation with a council employee yesterday.
You did, yeah.
And she had the temerity to say to me, I can't comment on that. I'm not a virologist. And I said, my immediate reply to her was, are you an accountant? And she said, no. And I said, well, stop talking to me about money.
Let's move on, John.
Yeah, let's move on.
I like that.
Fucking bastards.
But with Darius, it could have been climate change. Yes, Mr. Jungle.
Yeah, climate change. You're right. I forgot about climate change. It would be climate change. Right.
Could have been climate change.
Moving on to Scotland and the government known as the Scottish Numpty Party. Blackford, the leader of the Scottish Numpty Party in Westminster, apparently directed his party to back the sex pest, Patrick. Remember Patrick? Who had made overtures towards a young man, I believe?
Yes.
So he'd initially said that no one was above the law and that everyone who did things like this should be hunted down and sorted out. And then when it happened to Patrick, he said, oh, well, Patrick has many challenges and we really need to stand behind him.
Oh yeah, because that's, you know, it's the same with every political party, every political movement, John. It's all right when we do it.
Yeah, and I don't know, and I'm not making any aspersions at all, right? I don't know if there's anything to do with the Twitter trend for dry bumming.
This is, I know what he's talking about, but this show it's done it. It's found those depths. We've plunged.
We are there. Plumbing the depths tonight.
We are there.
This is like we've stepped back in 6 months.
The only way to go for the rest of this show is up.
Do you know we only started our YouTube channel on the 11th of January?
Yeah.
Well, people get on there and get other people on there and get subscribing because we want to be a force to be reckoned with.
We want to make people laugh, entertain people, give them the news, and give them a different perspective, right? And what we would appreciate you doing, no matter what platform you're on, is just sharing it out, telling people to come have a laugh with us, and you know, maybe get a bit of information they didn't have. It is different.
Or challenges. If you need the challenges, that's fine. I mean, you actually don't get to speak generally unless you pay and get into the after party.
You want to come to the after party?
If you want an argument, come to the after party. I'll argue with you. I'm more than happy to do so.
We'll argue with you for money.
Yeah, we will. That's good arguing.
John, let's move on because we are nearly an hour into the show now.
Yeah. Excess deaths are still climbing. Non-coof.
Yes, of course.
14-15% up on where they should be normally. That's difficult. It's difficult to understand why. If I was a doctor, I would probably be baffled.
You know what it is!
But yeah, I think.
You know what it is!
Yeah. Right, here, I had to include this one. This the New York Post, the gift it keeps on giving.
They
right?
do they just keep on giving.
So glad I found this publication. I love it. In fact, I think I can make videos about this every day.
Please do. They're great.
Oh yeah. So Paralympian gets a remote control bionic hand.
Okay.
But the stinger is it can be controlled from anywhere in the world.
Oh, fantastic.
What the fuck are they thinking? This is like the Big Bang episode where the lights were controlled from China.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what happens if someone starts flicking her bean? This is a classic. Oh, flick that bean, flick that bean. She'll be like, stop. It came 3 stations ago. What are they thinking? Why does their bionic hand need to be controlled from anywhere in the world?
Don't know. Let's move on immediately.
German farmers are following the Dutch. They are now protesting as well.
We do not like the government. We are going to go in our tractors. We are going to block the roads. We are going to tell the government, no, John. We will not eat the bugs.
Don't eat the bugs.
We will not eat the bugs. You may eat the bugs, but we will not eat the bugs.
So 1900 USA, percentage of cars that were electric. In the year of our Lord 1900. How many cars were electric percentage? Well, you'll love it. 33% of the cars in the USA in 1900 were electric. Percentage of cars in 2022 in the USA, 3%. Yeah, we're really moving forward on the climate change agenda.
Well, when it's 0%, I'll be a bit more happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate electric cars.
Yeah, well, the passenger cap at Heathrow has been extended past half term. Now, why would that be? Because they don't want you travelling.
You are not allowed to travel. You will eat the bugs. You will not go on the plane. You will not go on the holiday. You will do as you're told.
Yep. Picnic stores.
What's a picnic store, John?
Picnic stores in the Netherlands that keep catching fire.
Oh yeah, Bill and Melinda Gates shops that keep going up. Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically food distribution centres, and they're funded by, as you said, Bill and Melinda Gates.
Lots of genetically modified meats and stuff, right?
3 of them gone up in fire.
Oh, it's an absolute mystery.
They do use electric power delivery vehicles.
It's an absolute mystery as to what's occurring here. You know, it greatly benefits certain people that might be protesting if they're going up in flames.
Baffled.
I mean, it's just happy. You know, they're happy accidents, aren't they, John?
Yeah.
Just a happy. As Bob Ross says when he's painting and he makes a mistake, we don't make any mistakes here. We just have happy accidents.
We don't paint chemtrails. Royal Navy is to end its channel operations in 2023, so I'm hoping the amount of immigrants might reduce.
Well, yeah,
because they've done nothing but go up since they started.
Well, because they've not actually done anything except become a taxi service, John. They're a taxi service.
I mean, the Border Patrol, the Royal Navy, and the RNLI all appear to be a taxi service for immigration.
Yeah, that's
Illegal.
That's all they're doing.
Legal immigration.
absolutely. And there are people that really want to come to this country via the correct means, via the correct methods, and they will never be able to. And all people that spent their life savings doing it the right way, trying to build a life, come here and do everything, and they've gone through all the correct means, jumped through all the hoops, gone through all the channels, only for someone to come across on a boat, a fighting aged man usually, and just have the red carpet rolled out.
So here's one for Jeremy Vine.
What's that idiot done now?
Well, no, he hasn't done anything. But what about registration and insurance for pedal cyclists? That would be funny, wouldn't it?
I mean, it would be somewhat annoying because obviously then if your kids have got pedal cycles.
Well, I think there'd be an age limit on it.
One would hope so, but
I think there's got to be an age limit on it. But yeah, I don't see any reason why mammals shouldn't have to pay registration and insurance for pedal cyclists because, one, they offend the eye.
True.
because I'll be honest, any middle-aged man cycling about in Lycra is an offence to the eye and possibly an offence to the indecency laws at the same time.
Mr. Vine.
Yeah. So yes, I'm all for it. Fuck them. Why not?
Well, I think taxation is theft. You know me, but
yeah.
but at the same time, like you said, they get in my way when I'm driving my car, my lovely 7-seat gas guzzling car.
See, this is the thing I don't get about. I don't get about all this legislation that's slowing us down so as we stay behind the cyclists longer.
Yeah, we just get around them.
Don't pass them unless you can give them the space of an articulated lorry lengthways or whatever they're looking for now, whatever it is. But don't pass them unless you can give them the space to fall off without crushing their head.
Yeah.
Right? So basically, don't pass them until there's a huge gap in traffic.
Yeah.
But the problem is, when they slow your car down to that degree, you're actually increasing the emissions of your car. You're increasing climate change. You're acting against climate change. And while these people who are nearly all vegans, as far as I can make out, are cycling along, farting out methane, which is a much more what would you call it?
Noxious.
Much more active greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think you should just be banned. Just ban them.
So what are you trying to say, John? We cull the vegans?
No, I can't go that far. I just say repurpose them.
Repurpose them. So
put them on bikes.
I was going to say put them on bikes that generate electricity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Build huge parks, right?
Yeah.
Static bikes that they can cycle away on, right? Powering our computer activities.
Yeah, they can power this show.
Yeah, they could.
So they'd be getting their enjoyment of cycling their bike, and we'd be getting free energy. Do you know what, John?
And they'd be on the roads.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have a little building built over there, right, with 2 cycles in it, and then I'm gonna say to vegans, "Come on, guys, come on, ride the bikes between 8 and 10 p.m. every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Come ride the bikes."
Power to the people.
Power to the people. Absolutely right. And those just, don't pay UK guys. If you guys want to come ride the bikes, give me some free energy.
Yep.
I'm all for it. You want to help? Come on. Come and power the show. Full invite.
So, the United Nations are looking for a new name for monkeypox. I've come up with one. My big brain has come up with one.
Is this gonna? I'm worried.
I just think we should call it "Don't Fuck the Dog."
I knew this was going to come up. I knew. So.
Well, it's even worse though. What about the guy? No, I don't know if he was involved with the dog, right? But what about the guy who's been on TV and mainstream media showing people the lesions around his mouth from the monkeypox?
But let's go back to the dog for a minute, because a French gay couple,
who
share their bed with their dog, have somehow transmitted their monkeypox to the anus of the dog. And scientists are baffled.
Scientists are baffled. I've got another name for monkeypox.
It's an absolute mystery.
We call it "Don't Lick the Dog."
I don't think they licked it, John.
No, I don't think they did either. I'm going with the first one. Don't fuck the dog.
That's exactly what's... Okay, we can't... Obviously, we can neither confirm or deny, but I think the opinion is here that, as we know, 90-odd% of monkeypox transmission has happened between gay men having sex with one another. That's just a fact, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a gay couple who are non-exclusive as well. They made that point.
They are promiscuous. Yep, they said that.
So a promiscuous gay couple who seem to maybe cross species as well.
An Italian greyhound. They're tiny. It's just not right.
I know. And they're wondering how the dog's anus has exhibited monkeypox symptoms. It's not a mystery when we know how it's transmitted. And I doubt it's from simply sleeping in bed with them. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, it's not too much of a mystery.
The last item on the list.
Oh, we're at the end.
Yeah, we ripped through it. Yeah, you told me to rip through it, so we ripped through it. And I think we ripped through it in fine style, to be fair.
I think so too. I've been having a great time.
So here we go. Arctic sea ice.
Arctic sea ice is, John, is it melted to the point that we're all dead yet?
Strangely, no.
Are you sure, John? Are we not all underwater yet?
No. Apparently, Arctic sea ice is at its thickest since it's been in the last 20 years.
John, you don't understand, right?
How dare you?
That's just hearsay, man.
How dare you?
No, John.
How dare you?
It's not hearsay. It's...
Shut up already. It's science.
Yeah, but John, I am a climate scientist, right? And I have produced a prediction that's going to be more right than all of my other wrong predictions. And you need to listen to this one because it's doomsday, John. Like all of the other graphs I gave you that said doomsday.
How dare you?
But John,
shut up already. It's science.
Every other model I've given you that has clearly not been right, that doesn't matter because this one's 100% totally right, John.
Good night. Yeah, so there you go. That North Pole that we were going to be sailing across, no we won't. We'll still be walking.
That's unfortunate, John, because obviously we need to listen to the models of the climate scientists that have never got a single thing right in their existence.
Well, hold on. Come on. New York, Florida, the Maldives, they're all underwater, aren't
They're
they?
underwater right now. I mean, we literally turned... It got so bad that SeaWorld Florida literally became SeaWorld Florida, John.
And they didn't build a new airport in the Maldives or 12 or what?
Nope, no, didn't happen. Didn't happen, right? SeaWorld Florida is just SeaWorld now. So if you want to go to SeaWorld, you just go to Florida. They've got a floating airport, from what I understand at this point. It just floats around there. It's like one of them Palm Islands, except it's actually floating.
Except they built it.
Well, they did build them Palm Islands. Most of them are built. They're just completely barren.
Well, it's like this is going to be like it's like the Chinese deserted cities, isn't it? People are going to go along and go, "There's nobody here," and then they're going to come out. They'll be walking across the desert and they'll walk into a fucking big, huge fuck off mirror, right? And go, "What the fuck is this?"
It's a prison they built in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and then they'll try and walk round it, okay, and go, for fuck's sake, it goes on forever, right? And then they'll find there's nobody in it, and it was a complete waste of time.
Absolutely, and but they are starting to populate pretty heavily the knockoff Paris in China now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, because it's cheap. They made it cheap, and
Yeah. Well, that's what they'll do. I mean, they've got the people. They should be throwing them in these places.
I agree with you, John. And on that note, I am going to start queuing out the outro. Sell us to them and the after party one more time before we do leave.
Good people of this fair land, whether it be the UK, the USA, the Ukraine, or the former USSR.
Or Taiwan.
What?
Or Taiwan.
Or Taiwan. Or China. We brook.
China.
Yeah, we don't care. We do not care where our money comes from. Just send us your cash.
Yeah.
You know, and we have absolutely no affiliation with any one country, and we do not stand with any one government. In fact, we stand against every government. So if you want the honest and truthful news, come to us. And with that, it's been a pleasure to serve you this episode 113 of Chasing Dissent Live with my good friend Ben. And it's good night from me.
Good night, guys. Speak soon.
That's all we've got time for this evening, so it's good night from me. And it's good night from him. Good night. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Stop playing with my bust!
Good night, everybody.
Good night, children. Good night, Daddy.
You're a what?
A pianist!
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
You have been a delightful audience. Good night. Thank you.
Oh, my bottom hurts. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Jim Bob.
Oh, I did love that hamster so. I took it into bed with me every night, you know.
Good night, everybody.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have to go now. I've been standing here for a very long time. I think the end of the show must have come and gone.
There you go. That's our solar system. You forgot Uranus. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening. You've been very nice to work to.
Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.